Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another movie review. This time we're going to be talking about something a little bit surprising, a little bit different for me, and that is the Mortal Instruments City of Bones. And I know another random review. I go from Hatchet 3 to talking about this. But, I try to review every movie I do see on my channel, or at least most of them. And, again, this one's a little bit random, but weirdly I developed some kind of interest or intrigue with it. I know this movie and the books as well. I never read the books, by the way. But both of them are kind of thrown in with these YA or young adults, stuff we've been getting over the last few years. Along with like The Hunger Games, Divergent, Twilight, I guess. So there's like an automatic distaste for all of them, really. I've seen The Hunger Games except for the last two movies. Hunger Games is okay. Never seen Twilight. I'm not planning on that either. And I watched the first Divergent, but it's just meh all around. But I do. I like fantasy worlds. I do like vampires, warlocks, different fantasy type of stories, depending sometimes. And I have TV shows I enjoy that have like younger cast members as well, so I figure why not give this a shot. And it was $5 at the store I work at, so I bought it on DVD. Which you could say would be a waste of money if I don't even know if I like it or not yet. But again, $5, and I didn't think I'd hate it, and to be honest, I didn't hate it. My girlfriend. She seems to think the books are pretty good, but she always told me how awful the movie was, so she was pretty pissed off when I bought it and seemed pretty eager to watch it. But I'll say I didn't think it was that bad. I thought Mortal Instruments City of Bones was actually a decent time. It's not to say it was great, but I don't think it was terrible. It's far from the worst of these young adult movies I've seen, for sure. Like a quote on the back of it, it says, from some kind of critic, I guess, at some point said, more exciting than The Hunger Games. And yeah, I guess I'll agree with that. There probably are more elements to this that I do like over The Hunger Games. Again, it's just me being into like the fantasy, this movie isn't horror, but like vampires and werewolves, of course, I like that better. Except Twilight, God. But, I was intrigued to watch it, and I'll admit I was entertained. I'm not afraid to say it. That's why I'm recording a video myself and posting it on YouTube. I'm going to explain the story to you real quick, but maybe better than that, I'll read you the back of the case here. I'll have you look at the cover while I read it instead of just looking at my face. Based on the best-selling book series, a seemingly ordinary teenager, Clary Frey, played by Lily Collins, discovers she is a descendant of a line of shadow hunters, a secret cadre of young half-angel warriors locked in an ancient battle to protect our world from demons. After the disappearance of her mother, Lena Headey, Clary must join forces with a group of shadow hunters who introduce her to a dangerous alternate New York called Downworld, filled with demons, warlocks, vampires, werewolves, and other deadly creatures. So there's the basis for the story there. Like I said, I haven't read the books, so I don't know like all the differences or anything like that. But again, I'll say I actually liked the movie. I was a little bit surprised with it. Again, I'm not saying it was great or anything, but I don't see how it was like completely terrible either. As far as like the cast goes, we have Lily Collins. I haven't seen her or anything else, but I thought she was okay in the movie. She's definitely not like our next like big up and coming actress or anything based off of this. But I think she is a little bit more fun to watch than say like your Kristen Stewart or different actors of that nature. I thought her character was fine enough for the role she was in. I'm considering watching the show Shadowhunters, I guess, since I did kind of enjoy the movie. And I'll say I do prefer Lily Collins in the role to the girl they have in the show. Lily Collins, she just looks like a more believable person in the role, whereas the girl on the show, to me anyway, she seems a little more fake. But I thought Lily Collins was okay. And then, I don't know the actor's name, but the actor who played Jace, who sort of introduces her to the world, he's okay. Sort of like your typical, like, attractive male lead. But he's a little bit more fun to watch than, again, like some of the other YA movies and stuff. And Lena Headey. It was really fun to see her in this movie. You guys know I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones. So when I knew her and Jonathan Rhys Meyers were in this movie, it did make me a little bit more eager to watch it. And she's pretty good in this one. You know, she is a fantastic actress. She doesn't get too many scenes in this one. You know, she has some involvement in the beginning, and she's sidelined for the rest of the movie. But I think she did pretty good. I liked her fight scene in the kitchen when Valentine's slugs are sent after her. It would have been nice to see more of her character in the other films if they had ever made any, but they didn't, because this movie wasn't too much of a success, unfortunately. And it was also fun seeing Kevin Durand and Robert Malliot in this one. Kevin Durand, of course, I've seen plenty of other roles, but I particularly like him as Fett on The Strain, and Robert Malliot also voices the Master on The Strain, so it's kind of funny seeing him in this. And also in the same picture here, you have Aidan Turner, who played Mitchell on the UK Being Human series. You guys know I was a big fan of the US Being Human, so I thought it was fun seeing him in this one as well. And then the guy playing Simon, I thought he did alright as well, sort of the geeky friend to Clary, Lily Collins' character. I thought he was fine. I prefer him to what I've seen of the TV version so far, honestly. He just pulls off the geeky thing a little bit better, I think, from what I've seen. And, I can sort of relate to him, over having a love for someone that doesn't necessarily return. It's kind of a shit situation. So I thought he was okay in the movie as well. And we'll talk about Jonathan Rhys Meyers in a moment. But, the story was okay. It is kind of like your typical Chosen One, type of movie, with her, Claire ended up being the only one other than her mother who can do certain things or make certain things, come to pass, come to fruition. And parts of it do feel a little bit convoluted, like there's a lot of information they throw at you at once. And, again, that could be explained by the fact that it's like a 2-hour movie, and they probably felt like they had to cram in a lot of information, to get to certain points a little bit quicker. So it sort of makes sense that I felt like it was a little bit rushed in those regards. But, other than that, the story was okay. It's definitely not the worst one. And as far as, like, the romance between Jace and Clary, there's, I'll say it's not as bad as, like, things like Twilight or some of the other, again, YA movies. It's not quite as much shoved down our throats as those. But there's, like, a particularly cheesy scene where they have their first real kiss, or at least their, like, main kiss anyway, like when they're in this garden type of area, and they play, I watched another review, so I think it's like Demi Lovato music or something. It felt like really cheesy and generic, but other than that, I don't think it was as like blah as some of the other movies again in this category. And Jonathan Rhys Meyers, he plays Valentine, the main villain of the movie. And you guys know, I was a big fan of his performance as Dracula on NBC, and I still hate that show was canceled. And I'm also looking forward to him playing Alfred the Great on Vikings next year. He's a very good actor. So again, I was a little more eager to watch this movie after finding out about him and Lena Headey's roles. And he did pretty good in this movie. Also, I actually liked his character quite a bit, Valentine. Some people might kill me for saying this, but I found him to be more compelling and complex than most of the Marvel movie villains. But I think he gave a pretty good performance for the script he had and everything. The script, again, is okay. The dialogue sometimes was a little bit off, but I think Jonathan Rhys Meyers worked with it as well as he could have. And again, he has like these moments where, he's definitely a dick, and he has like these selfish intentions. But then he has a moment where he's like at Lena Headey's side, and he still says he his love for her never left, or something along those lines, and you actually sort of believe him a little bit. So I'm kind of interested. I would have been kind of interested to see where his character would have went But I do think Jonathan Rhys Meyers is pretty good in the movie either way. It was a lot of fun seeing him in this. And it was kind of weird that I was actually wanting him to kill Jace at the end of the movie. But then, of course, you have the idea thrown in that Clare and Jace might actually be, siblings. Again, I haven't read the book, so I don't know all the details of whether that's true or not, or whether it isn't. I've heard it isn't, and it probably isn't because it seems like they're still trying to get into that romance in the show. You also like a character named Isabel, who is another member of the Half Angels organization. The Shadow Hunters, she was okay as well. I'm sorry I don't have a picture of her ready right now, but she was alright. Sort of like your, sort of like your typical tough supporting female character, I guess, friend. And the CGI, the effects in the movie, I thought they were okay. There were a couple ones where it was a little bit off, but I didn't feel like they were particularly terrible either. And then as far as the vampires and werewolves go, the vampires I actually thought were fine. Surprisingly, they were done a little bit better than I expected. When they infiltrate this vampire slayer to rescue Simon, I actually thought they looked all right. And as far as the werewolves go, I would prefer they don't turn just into big wolves. I would prefer more of a wolfman type of thing as always, but I didn't think they were as terrible looking as what Twilight does with them or anything. And some of the fight scenes are pretty entertaining as well. I did like the fight between Jace and Valentine, and some of the action I thought was shot well enough. With the battle with the werewolves and the demons and such, I thought it was alright. There's a lot to talk about in this movie. Like I said, there's a lot thrown at you with the story. But I did think it was enjoyable. I definitely don't think it was terrible. I had a good time, honestly. I was glad to see that even Jeremy Johns said it was a good time, no alcohol required a few years ago, so, that's something. But yeah, overall, I'd say I like Mortal Instruments City of Bones, and I might actually buy the Blu-ray version, I don't know. But overall, again, it's not perfect, though. Some of the characterization's a little bit wonky at times, and, the acting's not perfect. Most of the performances are okay, minus a good one from Lena Headey and a really good one from Jonathan Rhys Meyers. But yeah, overall, I'd probably give Mortal Instruments City of Bones a C+. And yeah, that was my best Chris Stuckman imitation there. But yeah, I'd give it a C+ overall. Again, not bad. I actually had a good time, and I'm not gonna deny that. And I would have liked to see a couple more movies out of this. I know it didn't do terribly well at the box office, and I know it was kind of critically panned. But I think it would have been more interesting to see a couple more movies of this as opposed to all the Divergent ones we've gotten and stuff like that. I think this had definitely had more interesting stuff to go on. But yeah, I know what you guys thought about the Mortal Instruments. I know I'm probably inviting some hate in here, but I enjoyed it, and I'm happy I did. If I do watch the Shadowhunters show, if I finish the season, I might do a video on that. We'll see. But I definitely like the cast more in the movie for sure from what I've seen. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.